Welcome everyone. My name is Evelyn and I'm going to do a bunch of catching up for my twin flame reads here. Lots of really high vibe energies coming in. We're going to go back to the 15th of December and try to catch up from there. It is a little bit heavy today, but I keep putting my video off. My son moved home this month, so we've been doing a lot, and I'm taking care of a bunch of cats in my garage, and so there's a lot going on. Nothing negative, but it is a little bit heavy today, and some of that is the new energies coming through the house and that kind of thing, but today it's not, because I'm all by myself today, except for Teddy and the cats in the garage, which is wonderful, beautiful energy. So I was just meditating for you, and I actually asked Sophia a question too, and I gave her the option of telling me in English or giving me a mother's message. And so this is what came through. So when I was meditating, the first message I was getting was cradle cap. So someone out there might need that message that their child has cradle cap or something like that. But also then cradle cat was coming in. So maybe your cat needs some cradling, and that could represent your twin as well, the cat. Yeah, but just again, that motherly energy of cradling. But again, that cradle cap is a specific message, perhaps for a couple people. Let's see. So then she didn't speak to me in English. She gave me a mother's message, which was Hani Mahana. And the way it translated was most prevalent in Hawaiian today, which normally Hawaiian is not my first language to translate with. Usually it's Arabic, or Arabic will give you a good, for me, the language that I get. Arabic and Kokborok I get. There's a bunch of different languages that have come through depending on the message. But today, Hawaiian, and as you can well imagine, since Hani Mahana sounds very Hawaiian. And so the first message was from Sophia, a warm kiss, which was really beautiful. In Maori, it was coming up as warm honey. There's a lot about honey. And in Japanese, it was mahona, in ear. So there may be, you might have someone who needs to clean out their ears. And I don't know let me see what, I forgot to look at if that was the mahana in Japanese. Let's see what came up there. Let's see just real quick if I can figure that out. In Japanese. Okay. So mahana in Japanese was just coming up mahana again. So you can look that up in the dictionary too. And I usually use Wiktionary. So see if there's a message for you. It can also be mother's hana, but something in the ear, and that you may relate to that word for whatever reason, mahana. It may just be that you need to clean out your ears. Oh, it just came up in Japanese, mahana, as magic flower. Magic flower in ear. Oh, that's a beautiful message. So listen to your messages. I'm glad I looked that up for you. All right, mahana. And again, that's coming from ma. In Indonesia, I don't know if that one was that one. I don't know if I labeled that correctly. Mahana on leaves is also coming up. So again, that energy of magic flower on leaves. The Great Honi also came up. I think that was Indonesian. Or it might be Arabic. And then again, the first one really that came through was Hawaiian and warm kiss. Arabic was also this is a profession. Kokborok, no honey. Tibetan was sun honey, as in the sun in the sky. And let's see what else came up. Arabic, we are here. Kokborok said probably here. Tibetan said today. And Tibetan also said you are here. You are present, be present. Hawaiian also, the first greeting was afternoon. Warm kiss. Also, honi separately means make out, and mahana is warm. And in Hawaiian also came up job anointment, not appointment, but job anointment. And this is all Hawaiian. You, brother, honey brother, it's here. And then after, it's here in Hawaiian, kiss me, it's okay, it's warm, it's heavy. And then in Arabic, he is me, what is she? And here you go. And then in Tibetan, you are my ha. There's a lot about ha and laughing coming up in different languages. And then Tibetan also came up with expensive honey. So you may have an expensive honey, or maybe you're buying some expensive honey. All right, so those are the messages that came up from Sophia. And we're going to roll the die too. We're going to pull oracle cards. I have a twin flame read on the table I just did last night. I had other reads I did, but I couldn't get to them for you guys. So I'll touch on them as I catch up in my notes, but I probably won't give you the full reads that were on the table. But I will do this one. And I have lots of messages of the day as well that I want to get to because there were really profound messages. I keep getting more collective upgrades to my old messages and my own upgrades as far as my abilities. Really cool. I just posted 2 messages, and I do urge you to read them because there's some profound information in there. And even if you don't resonate with it all, it will definitely bring you some kind of activation. Okay, and there's really high. The last one I posted on my Insta and TikTok was, the music was really high vibe energy. So you may feel the music as soon as you watch it. And that music was from The Age of Adeline, because that was coming up in the message, as well as the Time Traveler's Wife. And just the message was amazing, and it's very easy to understand. So read below. It's not just what you see on the picture, okay? All right, let's roll a die, see what comes up. Let's take this bowl off the table too. Oh, and before I forget too, when I came to do the read today, the Two of Wands, which is my twin flame card, was sitting on the floor upright, okay? Apart from the read. I don't know how it got there, and it didn't fall off the table because none of the tables are on the edge of the table. So I don't know how it got there because I didn't notice it on the floor, yesterday or today. But obviously it was there for a reason. Okay, so we have the twin flames upright, and I'm starting on the 15th of December. Yeah, I'm just going to go through my notes because there's a lot to remember, and I don't want to miss anything. So let's roll the die, see what comes up. For the twin flames, today is the 8th of January. Happy New Year. Hope you guys all had a nice holiday. Thank you for being here. All right. So we have Sagittarius coming up. Yeah, there's been a lot of arrows coming up in my messages too. So Sagittarius, and we also have Mercury, which is the messenger, Virgo, and Gemini. But now we're in a 9-year, which is the Hermit, which is Virgo. So that's definitely been coming up a lot. And then we have the number 5, which is the middle, which is also coming up a lot. I literally got the number 159 in my messages yesterday or the day before. And that was coming up as the 1 to 9, and then the 5, which is the middle point. And 5 is also freedom and change and all that. So Sagittarius, Virgo, and Gemini. And then 5 is the Hierophant, which is Taurus. So it's interesting because the card, the Hierophant, is all about commitment and societal norms, and it can be reference God as well, right? The religious powers that be, the institution, tradition, all that kind of stuff. Whereas 5 is change and freedom, but it's the same energy. So it's the commitment of freedom and fun and romance, all of those things that come up with number 5. So the messengers, right? So the mercurial energy is coming up with the sun pointing towards you. And I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't even notice it was there until now. So you have the singularity here with the messengers closest to God, right? The mercurial messengers closest to the sun. And then we have Sagittarius, which is also a mutable energy. with Taurus, which is fixed, but 5 is of change. So it's kind of a contradiction there. Interesting why that's coming up. So we'll see what happens with that. And I do want to pull a quick card. Let's just see which animal comes up for you guys. I've been using the medicine deck a lot in my morning reads. And the wolf had just come up. And, you know, the wolf and the wolf pack talks a lot about family that's very similar to humans because it allows you to be part of a community and yet be the individual self as well. All right, and Spirit's connecting with me. And I was corrected. Great Spirit. Very interesting. I'm getting big connection too. Great Spirit is with me. And Teddy Bear is just coming up too. Teddy Bear's up at the front window right now. It's hard for him when I do these messages because they're very long. And he wants my attention. So he's being a good boy. He's taking a nap. All right. Here we go. For the twin flames, for the best and highest good of all that's concerned, what is the animal message today for them? The dolphin, beautiful. High vibe, sonar energy. Number 40, which represents Ea, which is Enki, which is Poseidon, and the dolphins in the sea. And 40 also comes up in the Jesus card. I forget which deck it was, but one of the decks I use all the time. And the 40 is the Page of Cups, so that sweet innocence, that pure heart and pure love of a child. And this card also dropped out next to it, which is the bear, which is number 5. So there's the 5 coming up with the bear. And again, it's hibernation time. It's the winter here anyway, in the northern hemisphere. And there's this contradiction here between these two cards, you know, between the innocence of the dolphin and the child and the sweet heart. And oh, look, it's the cuddly bear, right? The bear is the mama bear that cuddles you in the wintertime to hibernate. And teddy bear is just coming up. And my daughter is much like the dolphin, so those energies are coming up in the house as well. So the Page of Cups and the Hierophant, right, which is that kind of at opposite ends of the spectrum, you know, that which is innocent and free and loving without any pre-constructs or preconceived notions, whereas the 5 represents the Hierophant of societal norms. So kind of the contrast between those two things. All right, let's put them up. And the bottom of the deck, look, is the 9 and the butterfly. So the 9-year, but also the Hermit and the Virgo energy of the year, and then the transformation. So there is transformation here. And we have the lynx here, which some think the lynx is the actual Sphinx as opposed to a lion. We have the 18 of the moon, which is today's energy. Today is the 8th, but right, it adds up to 18, I believe, right? Yeah. Okay, so we have this today's energy, and again of the cat, and remember cradle, cap and cat both came up. And there's that cat kind of very carefully watching what they're watching, you know, scrutinizing, and they're not trusting here. It's like they're looking under something, right, to see, to get to the root of things, of the transformation. It's like someone's trying to see from without is what I'm getting, the transformation happening. But it's hard. And look, there's my birthday. Cool. Okay. Okay, that's the underlying energy. And then these are the 2 guys coming out. Oops. Behind love, the dolphin, and the bear. So let's see how they come up in the messages. All right, here we go. All right, so back to December 15th. And I have the first message is one of my morning messages where I just pull one card from these decks. And I have the medicine deck at the top the Fortunes Oracle, the Ascension deck, and then Journey of Love. Okay, so the underlying energy is on the left, and then one card usually pulled on the right. Okay. All right, so we started with the blank card and the underlying energies. And today is the 8th. And I pulled these on the 15th of December at 12, 46, 47, 48, and 49, which is the 6, 7, 8, 9 of cups. The underlying energy of the blank card, which for me leaves space, or it's kind of a wild card. The 25 of the Phoenix. The 25 is the year. It's also the Knight of Wands. Oh, by the way, I wrote that in my last Instagram message, that 25 is the Eagle's soul number when I did the team number. So that's very interesting for 2025. And the Super Bowl's on February 9th, which adds up to 20, which is Judgment Day. So there's a wake-up call. And it's interesting, right? Because Eagles are very much known for coming back as the underdog. And the Eagles are very much in my messages these days too, constantly, right? Because the 3 is the eagle soaring, and the eagle comes up as E as glee. And we'll get to that when we get to that. We also have 48 of Pallas Athena in the underlying energies, and then 38 of the Pearl Threaded, which also came up in my messages on Instagram and TikTok. The first cards out for this read were the 6 of the Snake, and that's very much the nest of the eggs. The 30 of the Sun, 41 is Serapis Bay, and 16 of Heart of the Moment. The blank card was after your Divine Feminine, because I have some of these, the medicine deck cards come blank, so you fill them in with an animal that may not be present in the deck, but may be significant to you. And I have Teddy Bear on one of them, and I had Sophia on one of them. I have your Divine Feminine on one of them, and your Divine Masculine on one of them. And there's some blank ones. So the blank card was after your Divine Feminine with the 27 of the Dragonfly, the 19 Buffalo, 32 Ant, and then drawing a blank was coming up. A new passion of 2 as 1 and a beautiful mind was the Dragonfly energy. As the Sun Buffalo observing ant-like creature. And this was 2, one of the cats. And they're coming up a lot in my messages because, you know, they're reflecting my energy and the messages I need to bring forth. And one of the older kittens, so they look like full-size cats now because they're about a year old, is Lovely, and the other one is Monkey. And none of them will let me hold them yet because they're used to being outside with the mother cat, and she's kind of disappeared. I don't know if she's weaning them off of her because she really belongs to my next door neighbors. And so she's been leaving them alone with the older siblings at night sometimes, and then she'll come. I'll worry about her because I won't know where she is, but now I know that she's just next door, and she'll probably come back the next day. So she'll come back and eat with them, and some days she'll just disappear. And then there's another cat that looks like he's been romping with her in the bamboo, and I know she doesn't want to get pregnant again because she's had like 3 litters already, and she's a little cat, and she's very irritated by that. So anyway, what I was getting to is that Lovely, and I named them Lovely Ia, I call him Lovely, and Lovely's the one who's been talking to me the whole time. And he kind of thanks me for things. He's come in the house just to look around the kitchen. I let him in today. It was the first time. I don't want them to get used to coming in. And but because Mama's fine with me, Mama I can hold and Mama I can pet, but the kittens are still a little bit skittish about that stuff. But there's 3 of them that let me pet them, and Lovely's one of them. Lovely's the most affectionate towards me and the most vocal towards me. And then Monkey's fine with me too. They're just much more independent. So, and they do let me pet them when they're eating, but if they're not eating, a Monkey might, back off a little bit. And then PM, the one kitten that doesn't look like the other 2 kittens of the little ones, is fine with me too, but still doesn't let me, just pet them randomly. But I can pet PM while they're eating. But the other 2, Wilbur's fine, but just just kind of keeps their distance. But Fluffy's the one that's the hardest to connect with because Fluffy scrams as soon as you come near them. So anyway, what was coming through with the message here was when Lovely, when Mama was here, we were sitting out on the front step, and so she was cuddling with me, and I was petting her. And Lovely came over to see what that was all about. And that was the first time we really, had some fun playtime, and he really liked my fingers, and he was trying to figure out what they were, and he was playing with my fingers and let me pet him and that kind of stuff. And that was coming up with this energy of the sun buffalo observing the ant-like creature, like my fingers. And Lovely was like biting at my skin just to see what the texture was like without hurting me. But, playing with his paws and my fingers and then biting my skin a little bit to see what it was like. And then drawing a blank here with the buffalo sun, which the buffalo is all about prayer and abundance in the medicine deck. And then lovely Ea and sunshine. You bring us the gifts of life. Hear our prayers. Smoke, this is again the buffalo. Smoke rising like phoenix. We are reborn within the sacred words. Lakota white buffalo, calf woman, who brought the sacred pipe and taught prayer. So the smoke was considered a literal, a prayer that you could see. So tobacco herb with male and female medicine. The pipe and the smoke being a visual prayer. And this was at 115, so here we are going back to the 15th. And 15 is the shadow, right? It's the devil card. Your divine feminine is protected by one whose nip and holds leaves. The dragon line of dragonflies and ants and cats too are coming up here. And that's interesting too, because the snake, because we're going into the snake year on the 29th of this month. And Hydra is actually considered a mixture of the serpent, the lion, and the bird. So here we have the dragon line of dragonflies, ants, and cats too. And the ant, when I was looking at the cards, the ant's butt, I wrote, was looking like the shower filter. The blade of pipes. And the end is kind of like a masculine feminine energy, like with the pipe being the masculine energy and the ball at the end, the feminine energy. And legs. Nip at leaves because they are nourishment. The blank slate or the circle and ring on the top was on the floor. And the first card that came out was the snake card of number 6, which is the lovers and family. And it's the nest, the mother's snake's ring with all her eggs that she holds dear, right? So her family, her lovers, all she holds dear and safe. As the underlying energy is the 25 of the Phoenix, the Knight of Wands, after the 9 of the Eagle, so they've been coming up a lot together here because they came up again yesterday together. Again, the 9 is the Hermit and Virgo energy this year of the Eagle, that card. And then the Phoenix is the Knight of Wands of 25 this year, 2025. And the Phoenix and Eagle are the horizontal and vertical pillars where the eagle is soaring across and then the Phoenix rises and they come together at that 0 point energy. The eagle range and wings collect the mountain ranges energy, like the wind beneath their wings. As the Phoenix conducts the show, they come together as the leaf, and that came up in a drawing I was doing for one of my posts, ready to blossom a flower. So now I have the picture of just the 2 leaves that have come off of the stem and then just the bud without anything grown yet. There's no flower. One who flows is disposable fruit, nourishment that can grow back again, right? It's temporary, so it's disposable. The lava that erupts from the volcano in the mountain seeks the sun, the light of day to see sunflowers raise. But under great stress, it explodes all over and wipes them out, and hardening over time, projecting that which burns, crushes them, when really just wanted to see the sunflowers to get there faster. So it's also drawing the energy of the mountains as sharp mountains, jagged, and then the soft mountains, right, with the curved edges. The electric of the sharp and the soft of the magnetic of the water, right, that round the rocks over time. So just keep that in mind. As the eagle and phoenix are planning for spring. And this was the 15th was a Sunday. Oh, interesting, right? Because in September, I did a whole thing about Mana because it was on Sunday, which is the actual day of Mana when it happened. So here we are on Sunday again. And it was the full moon on the 15th of December. The eagle and phoenix planning for spring. And all of the energies of the eagle was coming up as vapor came up, and Eden to rise. So shy and vapor, eagle to rise, ashamed, life force of sovereign, and smelling the whole piece. Reflecting bright light as bright light, the river or water running through it as it breathes the air. Delighted to behold a farm, father's room. So the farm is being referenced as father's room. And photoilluminance was also coming up here with the pH energy, the Fat, and the bathroom, the man's bath, as opposed to Mary's bath. And then Ea also comes up with eagle, of course, like I said, and glee. The phoenix, the Fat of illuminance, of father's bath as opposed to Mary's bath room. Baba black sheep and grandchild on. The island hello and goodbye, to hear and to listen is gold in the end. The Kaaba water spirit. And and then Merkaba comes up. The spark of star of mother's infinite Ba room, the Merkaba. The grandchild on an island to themselves, she must say hello and goodbye to hear and to listen to. The mountain births, mother and female child who holds her grandchild too. What comes forth from deep down projects the furthest out. All right, so just like raising your vibration, right? You don't get those extremes unless you go to the extreme, right? So just like going out and getting really drunk and then throwing up the next day. If you don't go out and get really drunk and just have a few, you won't throw up the next day. So those equal and opposite reactions. So the water is not murky as the sea key, but murka, the sea ka. Ba's mark, their brand, to notice or observe and label, and by what they, the Baba black sheep, the two lambs, the angels of Mary's bath, or Ba to the nth degree, which is the soul, puts out there, right? So Merkaba is the sea, the primordial sea soul, and then the Ba, the higher self soul of Ba, and then the Ka of Ka is the soul, Ba is the personality soul. So, right, so you are the sheep, the Ba. So I was getting that backwards. The Ka is the higher self. So Mary's bath puts it out there, a double boiler, water boiling below the mantle to steam you all, to warm you up, as Mother just sent you warm kisses, to warm you, to create vapor, which vapor is Eden in alchemy, and thus Eden. Ease den, not room, that's for kangaroos. But ease den is the ease, and the den, and ease, notice, is Ea, sea, S-E, or sudden event. Ea seas, or sudden event, of spring, or of spinning planet of JC, and the letters JC create a torus on an angle, the torus with direction. So the torus is also 2 are us, like Toys R Us, and creates that JC torus with direction. And then the trident is the energy of Poseidon and Ea, which is the 3 D apostrophe ENT of the giant humanoid talking tree, or the family tree, the living library. So how do you think Toys R Us got their name? And YS was coming up. Why Sophia? And what Toys was coming up as YS, wise, Sophia, but also ice, wise, corn, and noise, his, is, and frozen water. So on one side is Ea, who sees the sudden events, and on the other side is JC and the spinning planet, right? So one kind of like the energy of on planet that's been with us in the 3D energy for, thousands of years, and then Ea, off planet. 2RS, or the torus, is the apple, and the trident, the fork with which to eat it, my dear, the fruit picked up by the one observing it. So Merkaba, the ba in Merkaba also represents the bird head energy of the person, the body. So Mary's bath is MB, which is also my beloved. Kaba is also story and clay and bowl, and we're supposed to be molded out of clay. Fright, end, and finish, to divide, distribute, present as gift. To gift, wasp, fat, cream. Premonition, nervousness, foreboding, large cockroach. Rude, unrefined, coarse, vulgar, swollen, and large. We're coming up under Kaba. And then Merka, to buy, a mark, a brand, or make. To note, to notice, and to label. So 2 are JC and Mary Magdalene, the MM of the mountains, as opposed to the Taurus of the JC. 3 spinning planets, giant humanoid talking tree. Kaba is a story to divide, distribute, present as a gift, a foreboding premonition or nervousness, unrefined and ending, a day bowl of fright, and there's the Super Bowl, the day bowl of fright, the fat or cream on top that still needs a bit of whipping. Very interesting in relation to the Super Bowl. So ease on down the road to row AD, or JC path, the infinite Father's path. The trident is the vehicle that takes you there. And there's all that, reference to the fork and the apple, or eating the apple, and our connection to Ea, right? Because he's supposed to be the father of the seeders who seeded the humans in moving from Neanderthal into the human race. Okay, so the seeders supposed to be 24 different ET races that seeded us, which is called, the Earth experiment, basically. And we're basically all ETs just like they are, right? We're on a planet hanging out in the middle of space. So Ea had to put you in your place. So JC, right? So Ea had to put you here in your place. So JC could teach you momentum, or moment. You are the moment, or mom, ENT, right? The energy of Sophia, of the giant humanoid talking tree. That we are part of the planet. Ea, the disciplinarian or disciple, and JC, the mama's boy, who holds disciples. And the fork that ran away with the spoon, leaving JC and Mary Magdalene, or JC and MM, to work this out on their own. The mountains of fire, the winds of change at the river's delta, the Y in the water which is water, and flower which is flower, the energy that flows, the electric shock that inspires the waves to peak, a medium through which to travel, flower power, or powwow of flowers or flowers and waters. As spacey airhead meets wishy-washy wizard, airhead gets steamy izzard. To warm up, as that came up in your messages today, as the heat rises, who knows to use is a road. There's energy with the warming up, and the wizard gets. And the wizard is the one who knows to use is a road or path. The desert or stormy airhead to chill out, bringing them back down to earth, or grounding them and not to hurt themselves out in that wild world. Oh, that's interesting. That came up this morning or last night. It's a wild world. It's hard to get by on a smile. Oh, baby, it's a wild world. I can't remember the lyrics right now, but you know which song I'm talking about. It's hard to get by just upon a smile. So the eagle's sunflower getting ready to rise, with the hermit and the knight of wands in union, with the sun as mother snake, as a brand new plate, a clear slate. The underlying energies of 48 and Pallas Athena, and Athena came up last night. This was what I'm reading was from 2 weeks ago. 48 is the 8 of cups, also walking away within, with Pallas Athena, the ark and ship, the fourth ray and the sword of truth to lead the way after the 9 of the cosmic heart, which is about ninth dimension and Venus and Mother Mary and the unicorns, to call on them to help, bring your energy into that high vibration, that Venusian 90 energy, to then ground it down into earth. On ship Athena, Arcturus. So Arcturus was coming up as arc, and then TU, as in you in French, apostrophe RUS, so like the Taurus, but arc. So Arcturus, that you are us. And ship Athena is an Arcturian ship. You are us, hermit go within, to get Lady Liberty's sword from cosmic heart Venus via Athena. And for me, Athena is definitely Lady Liberty. So Athena is A, then A, right? So this, then that. 2 ships in the night, infinitely JC, the temple of Christed, which is, I write Christ-ED. It's literally like the Rainbow Bridge. And Christ, as I'm reiterating, broken down, CH and RIST is CH is horsepower, 144 turns of the water wheel, and wrist is literally the cross or crossroads. 2 ED, which is extra dimensional, or the temple divine, or the D represents for me the spinning planet, okay, which you are on. You are part of this planet. Like E's den, T hen, so E den and then ground control to Major Tom, the tree of Ohm at 314, which is pi. You finally got your piece of the pie. As you go to New York, right, in the show, he moves to New York, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. The avatar tree, the real Christ mass tree, the 144 turns of the water wheel, which is you, to the cross in the road, to gain momentum and direction. Angels, angular, and Mom's tree is the momentum to create Ma's tree, the planet all lit up, because you are the lights, connected by cord, as the choir sings without preaching to the choir. Then the Phoenix spirit's connecting with me. Then Phoenix comes up. He wants me to say the Great Spirit, because that's part of the medicine deck, and the Aborigines, etc., Native Americans, and so on. So Phoenix is PHOENIX. And OE is also OIR. And again, it comes up with horsepower. To hear, listen, to see, perceive, render, become descendant, a person, place, or thing that takes action or angular momentum. 41 was Serapis Bey coming up, who also came up in the last 2 days again. The fourth ray of harmony. And I brought up harmony specifically today. And again, related to Pallas Athena, the Egyptian, Serapis Bey, who stands in the white flame to feel its influence, and the seraphim that shower you with blessings. And to say that you walk with Serapis Bey, but Serapis is also Sir Apis. Bey just means Lord, and Sir means Lord as well. So it's basically a redundant name. But it all comes back to Sirius, and Sir Eos literally comes up as Sir Jesus or Lord Jesus. And Serapis is also Sir, who's a Pis, or pies, the circle with a line down the middle, or sharing equally. the underlying energy of 38, which is the pearl threaded, and RL came up, which is real, but also the radius of the moon and real life, royal letters. And then it reminded me, because magenta pixie always refers to flame letters, so I was getting that. The royal letters. And the P with the and the leap. The high road, right? The two P's in the pods that have that momentum of the of the tiger, right? And the lioness is the feminine energy. And then leap. The high road of Ea, DED, or divine ed, which came up with the criminal code of law, or two planets, one equal and congruent to each other, the same and sovereign. I was also listening to, I'm just blanking out on his name, the channel, Daryl Anka Bashar. I just couldn't think of it. All right, so I was listening to Bashar, and they were talking about there will be a second moon coming in that's small. It's an asteroid that will come into our field that's smaller than the moon and will become like a second moon. So I just wanted to bring that up. So here we have two planets, one equal and congruent to the other, both the same. So one equal and congruent is this. It's not coherent, but it's the same because you're talking about equal, right? So they're equal. They are the same. They are one, but they're also next to each other, so they can also be independent and sovereign. So that's why it's important to distinguish equal and congruent to coherency. So after the 27 of ethereal touch, the ether with Ea and El and Lil, who are brothers, touch two U's and horsepower. The Ace of Wands, flame with the light touch. After the heart of God, number 9, contemplates in the 698 pod. Becoming 34 in energetic exchange at the cross in the road of the horizontal and vertical pillars, the 3D to the 4D with ethereal touch, the Queen's gambit as the flame is ignited with the Queen of Cups to thread the pearl, which all will come out eventually anyway, like the stitches in surgery that dissolve naturally and then are processed within. And remember, the pearl represents all of the bacteria that gets into you, right? All of the negative stuff that gets into your body that the body transmutes into something beautiful. Okay? So the pearl represents all we've been through in each person. And the pearl threaded is that connection that we are connected by all the difficult things we've overcome. So the 16 of the tower and the heart of the moment. The tower was at 338, which is actually one of my special numbers because it's the third. And this has nothing to do with Christ consciousness because I wasn't religious. But the 338 had to do with me and my kid's dad. That number 33 is the Christ consciousness. And then 38 is the Queen of Cups. So it's literally Jesus and Mary Magdalene when you put them together. The connecting of the pearls creates lava from the heart to explode in the moment of art. The ear to hear in the present moment. And I was getting a 2-foot hem, like I wrote hem, H-E-M, but it's like that hem, a 2-foot hem. And Mom's ENT, or giant humanoid talking tree. The towering inferno of we. The Queen of Cups' epiphany. As then we have space for the 25 Knight of Wands, Phoenix, to rise, and the 48 of Pallas Athena to go within. The 30 of the Queen of Cups to thread the pearl. So here's, right, so the triggers are to get us going, right? It's lighting the fire under our butts when we can't do it for ourselves. So then we get triggered outside of us in order to bring something up or let it rise up to be seen. The Lovers, number 6, the Union is 30, the 4 of Wands. 41 is the Ace of Cups, and 16 is the Tower. As the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups go within to meet at the center. The Lovers, family home, the Union, receiving big love, the Holy Grail from the Tower. The whole shit and shebang was the quote I was getting. Gemini and the 6th house, Sagittarius and Scorpio. And then an Amazon truck went by. And the cats came up again because I was waiting for some cat beds I'd gotten for them. But it wasn't the cat beds. Leo and triple Virgo. which were the second, and fifth cards. So there's the 2, 2, and 5, and no 2 and 5 reflect each other when they're squared. Leo and triple Virgo in underlying energies as the ninth house, with June and Gemini and the sixth. So there, it's literally coming up, like Virgo's not the ninth house, right? But it is from our calendar year. And it is because it's coming up as the ninth month. So, and it's the Hermit. So Virgo is in the Hermit's house as June and Gemini. And so you have the mercurial energies, right? The messengers of Mercury closest to the sun. The June Gemini 6th, so he's 6 and 9 is the 698 pod. September Virgo and ninth house is Sagittarius. Perhaps Cancer and Pisces too, which are all the mutable energies. The 698 pod and the 6th and ninth houses divided by Leo. 2 peas in a pod, which looks like a cigar ship, which is a message I was getting. 6 and 9 create the division themselves as the pod over 8 equals the, notice that, 6, 9, 8 pod is the 6 and the 9 come together and looks like an 8 in the middle of parentheses or in an oval. So that's the cigar ship look and the pairing of the C's. But if you, turn inside out through and through, it becomes the Pisces symbol. So you go from parentheses of pi with a line down the middle to the parentheses going inside out to the other side. So now they're back to back, becomes the Pisces symbol, and the vertical line of the pi becomes horizontal, which is then salt. So you divide by x and you get the whole kit and caboodle in the oval. And then the oval office just came up. So then I'd done a mother's message the next day. That was the Osa Malakosi. May you be king is the first thing I'm going to. And that was in Arabic. May you be king. And then I'm just going to Hawaiian, which I don't usually use Hawaiian, so it was here. And that was saying, what is the day? And Sunday was coming up, and today's Sunday. And today's not Sunday. The day I'm reading is Sunday. All right, so that was a while ago already. Let's get to the next page that I haven't done yet. So I'd done one of these reads on the 16th. I'm just going to give you the highlights real quick of that. So the numbers that came up with that read were 131 with pentacles, wands, and swords. And the numbers were 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was it. And that's very unusual. Literally a single digit for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Made in heaven. The code line was all about the eagle to the phoenix, and then 5D, 60, and 70 were coming up there, right? Because 3 and 4 is the cross. It's the eagle and the phoenix, and then 5, 6, 7 is 5D, 60, and 70. And the energy of after death AI was coming up, which is also Adai, which means origin, the primeval, and the Sei whale was coming up, SEI, the maternal uncle yonder prototype, the culture hero of given species or object, the animal master, the billy goat, the skin of skin, hides and pelts, leather coming up there, and then the word AD. I was looking for ADAISEI because that's what was in the code line. But it came up ADIASEIS was very close, which means to schedule, adjourn, postpone, delay, bid farewell, and say goodbye. And Cara Bonnet show song just came up the other day too. I'm so glad we had this time together. So donkeys and ass came up, and conduct or behavior, perhaps behaving like an ass. Noble gas, cardinal, prime number, honey, which we got in our messages today a lot, and roast, and contents or topic. So sea whales was very significant when I'd done this read, and drones were coming up then too. And again, send your love light around the drones if they're bothering you. Oh, and I think Sam, the illusionist, was the one who brought up the booms, that people had been hearing booms all over the world and were wondering what they were. And I had heard them too. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and there's a police shooting range nearby, and it's very irritating on Sundays. A lot of times they'll be shooting all morning, and it was coming from that same area. But I heard this. It was like a faint sonic boom. It was really interesting, and it happened 2 nights at really late both times. So I resonated with that. The Sei whale was also bringing us to the primordial sea, and it was coming up like the not 5G, but the G of 5G was coming up as the whale, like leaping out of the sea. The Seven of Wands as the 33, which is the Rainbow Bridge, and the to the Three of Swords, or 2-3 swords. And again, the energy of the Taurus and the Trident. The Hierophant whale on the 33 bridge. The two in separation. Monkey's uncle and pelted whale as Poseidon came up in the Poseidon adventure, and Sei is this SEI is the whale we're talking about. Two are us, and 3 D apostrophe ENT of the giant humanoid talking tree. And again, the trident of Ea. The delays and bid farewell, standing up to 5G, or the Hierophant whale, right? The primordial whale. And theta is coming up, the salt of the earth. Measuring pitch angle of aircraft, or time decay, or theta waves. Reliable, trustworthy. And the energy of the 4 to 7, I used to talk about that all the time, the sweet spot, right? Being 4 to 7 is just above the middle, more a little bit towards the light. Just like alkaline and acidic, you just want to come to the middle, but just a little bit to the acidic side. So that was coming up here too with the theta waves. The Sei whale is Poseidon, right? This Poseidon. The bully peacock Sei, lord of the household, or dressed to kill. You love, it loves, frozen and congealed. The day to enter deep black ice, right, which is a hibernation state. But instead of white ice, it's black ice, like a black hole. And I watched a movie. What was that movie called? It was a movie. It was an older movie, like 14, 15. I can't remember exactly when it was out. I think that was correct. But it was about going into a black hole to save the planet. So that was interesting because I'm kind of getting a connection here. So at 12:12 a.m. this was, so just after midnight on the 17th now we are, Poseidon and the peacock 672B to know, say, dress to kill, and to freeze to death. Oh, very interesting. I just brought up one of my lives I saw was I was a very, very bad man, and I was in a past life regression. They took me to the end of my life, and I was in the middle of nowhere by myself, living in a cabin in the snow. And they instructed me to go to my time of death, and I just literally walked out of my cleared path, from the house. That was the only thing that was cleared, and I just dropped dead in the snow on my face. But the lesson from that life was it's better to be a very bad man than to be alone, right? Because you're not learning with reflection from others. So the Poseidon was coming up as the waters to freeze, as we're dealing with winter and hibernation time, as the Poseidon adventure is the adventure. the peacock whale to be, the giant humanoid talking tree, and the temple, right? So is the capital of Mesopotamia. I don't know if it's the capital or not, but I think it was, of Mesopotamia. And the temple is coming up here, of our beginnings. And the AI whale. So AI whales were coming up as being in our oceans. And again, submarines can reference that as well. And Poseidon is also the whale pod on. And I think whale pods have come up in the news recently as well. And what also came up in this message is the keel of the ship. The keel on the ship is the bottom beam, from bow to stern, the control and stability, or rigid bottom of an iceberg or flat-bottomed boat, which could be like an arc. The concentric arcs, a prominent spiral ridge to navigate, to turn up the keel or show the bottom, to collapse, fall, or to cool by stirring or appeasing, with red chalk, ruddle, throat, language, tongue, the string of the instrument. And KESI came up here, which is the grain husk. The thick skin, or developing thick skin, the scissors, the pouch, court case, and to tie up the goat. And again, that's the energy of the imprisonment of the goat. So the arcs in a circle, and I wasn't doing this on purpose, but the arcs in a circle, moving in a circle, in opposite directions, comes up as the rose. If you can see that, okay? So this picture was coming up from the arcs in a circle. And it was literally showing me that these are all the arcs on the planet that are in the pattern of a rose. Okay, so that was definitely a significant message. Then I was getting Chichen Itza came up on the 17th as well. And I might have brought that up. Oh, I did post the Chichen Itza, so you can go online if you want to look into that. Yeah, Chichen Itza. Okay, so the next message here was on the 17th, and then going into the 18th. So let's see where we are there. So we have the rose. So I did post the rose. All right, so there's some kind of post online about that, so you can look at that too. That's the post. Concentric arcs on to navigate iceberg, cooling by stirring. And then we have, and there's kind of energy too of what I was talking about, right? Where the stem was coming up with just the leaves and just the little pod there. And here's the energy around it. And this is coming up from the two Y's, right? This is this Y and this Y. And the tree. So the letters, the T and the Y's coming together. And you can look at that message. So here's that message, the source co-creation of Mother Nature's trademark, right? Of source being the T, and then the canopy of the tree, and the I being the stem here. And then the M, which is 1v1, which is co-creation, which is also, the straight line is also the arced line, because a line is just an arc between 2 points. Okay, so that was also coming up. That tree was coming up with the number 27, but written like that, which is another post. And the 2 here was coming for the 27th, was coming up as a spiral into this energy. And this had to do with the 27 degrees of a galactic alignment. So the galactic center aligns at 27 degrees of Sagittarius, which was on the 18th. And I'd gotten, yesterday was the 7th, which I told you April 9th was one of my New Year's days last year of 4 New Years that came up. And from 4/9 was supposed to be birthed on the 7th of January, like the second coming energy, because that was exactly 39 weeks. But then I got a message in December that it was going to be 20 days early, I think it was, and which brought us back to 12/18, which actually happened to be the exact day of galactic alignment. And then the message I was getting was that when we dealt with that, and first, what's it called, the superhighway, I want to say Anakia, I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, the superhighway that also aligned in December earlier on the 6th, 7th, 8th, around that time, it was showing me that the Milky Way is now part of that superhighway. So we don't, just like you don't need to align with the higher guidance when you're connected, or you don't need to go outside yourself for guidance when you're connected with your higher self. So the same kind of energy was happening here. Since now the Milky Way is connected with the superhighway, they no longer need to align with the galactic center. They don't need that outside themselves in our galaxy because they're already connected with a bigger superhighway galaxy. So that was very interesting. Okay, so now we have, let's see if this is the right one. Yeah, all right, so this is the next read, my messages of the day. We have the Journey of Love at the top, the Shaman Oracle there next, and then the Metatron deck, and at the bottom is the Rider-Waite messages. Okay, for this read, it's the underlying energies on the left. I usually pull 3 cards, but if more come out organically, I use them, and then any other extra cards that want to come out of the deck, I use at the end for numerology purposes and to finish the message. Okay, so this one was, we're still on the 17th, going into 18th. All right, so this message was started at 11:38 p.m., so it goes into the 18th of December. And today is the 8th. Okay. So I pulled them at 11:38, 2 decks, 11:39, which is the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups, and 11 is Justice and Alignment. And then the 42 of 2 of Cups was the Rider deck. The numbers at the end of the piles came up to 3112 and 4539. And I was getting social energy with the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Swords and the Hermit. Conflict of group, awaken to grief of the Knight of Cups. The underlying energy of the 44, which is the rings of time, and the overflow of the 43 and 49 of the family. The Ace of Swords, 55, as we had 3 cups there, 4 of Cups, 3 of Cups, and the 9 of Cups, along with the Ace of Swords, grounding and integrating her harvest, coming together to get their wish with family and presenting the truth. The old bird, or handicapped in flood, but making it to safety when the sun comes up. As the underlying energy 44 is also my Hercules energy of her harvest, and it's also the 4 of Cups, which is grounding and integrating the experience that you had. It's also boredom and apathy. And then 32 is the devotion to the small, 31 is the Christ, the 40 is the void. In the journey of devotion to the small at 12:21, oh, that's when I found that 2 of Wands on the floor today, was at 12:21. Journey of devotion to the small, the group sacrifice to save the child from the fire and into the void. Mother and child and father's sacrifice. Her harvest, his sacrifice. The 24 of the space between, the 36 of cosmic butterfly, and the 65 of the breaking. And that's 65 is the King of Pentacles. The Queen of Wands, 10 of Wands, and the King of Pentacles here. So we literally have the Queen of Wands and the King of Pentacles with Atlas between them. The 10 of Wands is the weight of the world, the literal weight of the world here, and getting ready to tumble. As God speaks, 33, the bridge, from the center, as who stays and who goes. And again, we're dealing with the galactic center at this time. The underlying energy of the Three of Cups with 22, 37, and 26, which was the Fool's Embrace, the Magician's Sword, and the Gathering Around. A leap of faith of the King of Cups to the Page of Wands, Scorpio and Aries in a sudden tower event, the empty well, or time to fill up, the 31 in the hand, and 61, the whale's song resonating. So here's the whale coming up again. And 61 is the Seven of Swords of taking risk. The 53 and 48 of the Knight of Swords and Eight of Cups, stranger and sky dancers. And handling conflict, taking a risk to resound. The whale in a bubble, and stranger's curiosity about sky dancer's surrender to go within. Sealed by Tinkerbell. And I was just getting Seal. That one card always reminds me of Seal, the singer. It's like the masculine, like looking at the water, the primordial waters, and as his electric jumps off of him, is curious about diving deep, but unsure with the electric currents running through. And the 49 of the Nine of Cups and Circles of Life came up after the 13 of Healing, or the 43 of Healing, the 54 of the Page of Swords, and Higher Realms. Higher Realms and Magic. The King of Wands duality and balance needed there, and the Chariot of Water and emotional well-being. Surfing tsunami and being a family again with Scorpio, Cancer, Castle, and Dolphin. So there's the Dolphin coming up again. Then the first card was the 11 of the Wake-Up Call and the 4 of Letting Go, aligning with the power of the fall, allowing it to pass right over you. That'll come up. Okay, and then the Queen of Swords with priorities, 52, which is the 52 is the Queen of Swords. The 38 of the Queen of Cups and chakras aligned with 32 and 15 of good news in the shadow as life travels on, clarifying what wasn't seen by going within. The underlying energy next was the Empress reversed with the Nine of Cups reversed, the Ace of Pentacles reversed, and the High Priestess upright. The old lady tumbled with dissatisfaction, playing hardball with sister or one who keeps secrets. The Taurus reverse lacking confidence, withholding from the High Priestess or higher self in peace, as Pisces or Virgo energy, breaking the chains, holding on. Fool is free with Sun at their back, and the Moon reversed with the Queen of Cups reversed, up early or no sleep till dawn. And the King of Cups upright is standing up to the King of Pentacles reversed for justice in conflict, blocking their recovery of the Three of Cups reversed and not getting along, socially anyway, as the Seven of Pentacles reversed is investing in the Tower energy, implementing a plan of attack that may be uncomfortable, with Capricorn reversed, Aries upright, Cancer reversed, Libra upright, and Scorpio upright, blowing their top, their crown, their stack, their mind, releasing pressure with uncomfortable emotions. The Magician or Libra upright energy with the wheel, 1 minute with all the tools of confidence, and the next schooling the golden goose, needing to know which tools to use for which situations. As the Ten of Pentacles reversed, dealing with dysfunctional family, business, community, or loss, or just spent, and that could be a large purchase as well. With the Wounded Warrior reversed, surrendering, receiving big love from the King of Wands reversed, starting over, a dream come true, to perform and travel or take the show on the road. With the Queen of Pentacles upright, Knight of Cups reversed, and Strength reversed. Cancer, Queen of Pentacles may be stable, but the Knight of Cups reversed, Sun may feel weak and rejected or moody and exposed. In the Sun, finding peace with the dark night lay to rest At 1, 2, 3, leap. Leo, both upright and reversed. Scorpio, upright. Forgiving, apologizing for the 6 of Cups reversed, falling out. And that could be kids giving you a hard time as well, or looking back at bad memories from childhood. Leading the way forward, inspired to face fears of the Knight of Swords reversed and the Emperor upright, who may be annoyed with them as their silent message cuts them off at the pass. 1-to-1 in need of peace, sharing with the Knight of Wands reversed, who's falling short and getting over it, with the Knight of Pentacles reversed and the King of Swords reversed, and the 10 of Cups reversed in a heated exchange of the family with the Queen of Swords upright, who moves on, stressed but committed to see the light. With Taurus and Virgo both upright, the Man and the Messenger and the Man in the Mirror came up with that, trapped by a choice of this or that. The 4 of Wands upright and stable home with issues at work or not working out or not working, or the world is upside down with the Page of Pentacles reversed, needing help getting started. And that could be something new in a practical sense, whether it's school or work, whatever it may be. And remember, this was in December when a lot of people were off and having vacations. To speak their truth and break through the crown, giving an ultimatum, coming from a stable home and not working, or kids off for the holidays, with Pisces reversed and a need to get closure, or closer, I guess, or help to triumph in telling the truth at 131, which reflects the 13 and 31, which is the life and death energy of chaos and order. So the Page of Pentacles reversed and the Ace of Swords upright, and to tell the truth was coming up, and that could be the show. The first next card was coming clean or cleaning up the act or space with lovers' affections, the divine feminine seeing all that glitters is gold, except what they don't know about, or they love surprises. Gemini and Leo energies here, with Gabriel and the central sun, are all in its glory, its rays, beaming arcs that hug us all. Infiltrator amongst the clouds, not letting the rotten apple spoil the bunch. Look up, or is that a new dew? Or Rudolph, or runny nose? Or cloudy about how it goes on? Lots of toys or things you love, checking things out, unsure what's undercover is safe to check out. Or shoot in your midst. Or that's a ghost in your midst, not shoot. That shooting could be coming up because that message actually was coming up in other ways as well. Unsure what's under the cover is safe to check out, or there's a ghost in your midst. Dreams of what may come, or dreams of what will come. Hanging out with the Page of Cups, Pisces or Capricorn, perhaps an impatient, with Atlas bliss, or forcefully removing all wounds. A wake-up call to align with purpose, not the Queen of Wands reversed, but the 9 of Pentacles upright and sovereignty. Or perhaps coming single, or perhaps a catch that you should connect with. And then the word AYILL came up, which it means turtle. And turtles are very ancient. So if you want to know what's coming, watch what the turtle's doing, because they're very in tune with the planet. May will. I ill. May will. So, and the month of May is coming up constantly. The dates in May over and over again, come what may. And here it's coming up again, May will. Chakra system takes off, aligns with central path. Video dream drive. A video came up for Joe Dispenza on recalibrating your energy in solitude, talking about the journey of awakening. It was very interesting. And then again, the turtle. Your root, left at the right angle, the temple 1 equal and congruent to the temple is the TM pole, and the tree mountain trademark came up, which is one of the things I posted. The wild goat and the ox came up here in the definitions. The journey, a dance of the tower, which has the Merlin on top, right? Like the magician, but spelled with an O instead of an I. And the rook, all earth, everything. A roundabout with beautiful background. And this is all coming up around the turtle. So you might want to meditate on the turtle, see what comes up for you. To be able to cope, which is my maiden name. Ancient ox, luck, full name and reputation. Jance, journey, as well as the butt, tower, rook, pants, bottom, lap, roundabout, energy, all, land, earth, everything. And a turtle, TLE, is beautiful background, and bamboo as well. And hit dash to decay, so I don't know what this, that might be some kind of formula or counter. So Thoth came up with 44 and then 43. The turtle is the 2U root, left at the right angle, temple of TM pull, of the push and pull. And then soccer players came up, and that was interesting too, because when I was translating one of my messages, soccer was coming up a lot. That Mother Nature's trademark that I showed you, the T and the infinite EE of energetic exchange, which is THEE, that in the spring becomes the rose, which I showed you. So Thoth with 44 and 43 at 1 p.m. on the 18th, the overwhelm of good and plenty, dawning with family and getting the wish, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So helps you, God. Journey of the little ones, cannonball run in a leap of faith, flee, fly, flow, and spidey sense, as trumpets call, roll call, rolling stones, path of ones, cleaning up the act, to be with divine lover, a dream come true, helping to clear, hard to find residual. Drones a blessing in disguise, in disguise. And it was coming up as stones to drones, as path of ones to doctor ones, the path on S as snake approaches. And whenever I look up Sumerian things, there's a Sumerian online dictionary from the Penn Museum, which I worked at University of Penn, so that's right across the street from the hospital, which I have been in before. It's very interesting. So then the Pantheon came up, the path of spirit and the emanation from the Godhead. After 1 billion years, or angel gets their wings. And again, this was all connected with the galactic center. And that 2-7, the 2 that spiraled into the 7, reminded me of the Capricorn symbol that we're in now. The angel gets their wings. And then I was getting ding-a-ling-a-ling. And National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation was also coming up. And the harpoon whale with lampoon came up harpoon. And then gnat. So gnat for me, and that when gnat comes up, when a gnat comes into my space, there's always this one little gnat who comes and lands on my page for me, because gnat for me reminds me of Nat King Cole, and it's unforgettable. So that's my message for unforgettable. Unforgettable lampoon, and that is an oven of one, or OO of by oneself, right? That your human body is an oven. Lampoon, the angels in Mary Magdalene JC, where she's doing the rowing, and he the seeing, or the Christ consciousness-ing, the crow to 0. And the crow's distance came up in my post yesterday and today. The crow's distance is the shortest distance, or the hypotenuse. The lamp and the eagle, the hermit, and being alone 1 billion years. All right, so that brings up the eagle, because when I was in the harmonic egg in California, I had an amazing experience there. And I've told you this before, if you listen to me from the beginning, about what our real journey is, and that the wounded warrior doesn't come from living as a human. We begin as the wounded warrior. They literally showed all of these animal lives that I had lived, including the eagle, which was the most painful of all, where the masculine eagle soaring, looking alone, looking for his lost love, was like the worst pain I ever felt. And then took me through my really positive lives. Like I had a swan life where it was very harmonious. And, they show them going around the rock and then weaving back and forth together in a very peaceful life. And then the goat who gets taken to the slaughterhouse, leaving their love behind. And then the goat at the slaughterhouse becomes the skinned human in child's pose. And that's how the human begins. So like we began at the wounded warrior's path, and now we're becoming to the fool's journey with an open heart and a leap of faith. So here is so this is why the eagle is so profound for my messages, because I felt being that masculine eagle. And this is the culmination when the twins are coming together, is the eagle finding their mate and doing the dive together of spinning inside out through and through, is the eagle's dive. So we have the crow or call of 2 used to 0, the sleeping human era, or 0, the soccer player, which is football, the open house to human embodied by source of magician embodiment, the sleeping EZT, the temple of the sleeping giants, the call to 2 U's as the sleeping giants awaken. EZT is the easy tree. The T Re, and Re is a shaman energy of a Native American tribe. The shaman's line. Sha is the E on its back, like a squared W. The shaman's line, which is a Russian letter. To buy, to drink, cat and cow, past and future, to speak and tell. The living library opens for business, with the rolling stone, which is the E in all 4 positions, which includes the Sha, and then the E like an M is a temple. Excuse me, the E is the temple. The M, like the one that's like an M, the E that's on its face, can be referenced as mountain. But what did I reference it as? It'll come up in a second. So the backwards E is there exists, right? The letter in Pan-Nigerian existential quantifier. And Sumerian TS also came up. And right at that moment, at 4:23 on the 18th, which is the day we connected with the galactic center, and I also noted this symbol. I just happened to draw it because I liked it, that I saw when I was on my iPad. And I didn't even realize probably that it was the day of the galactic center. So, and that was a quantum mechanics symbol. And at 4:23, which is the Emperor and the King of Wands, but the 4 is also the crossroads. And the 2-3 is the Taurus and the Trident. And the energy of Poseidon as well, with the 4 and the Emperor. And I, by accident, flipped off key 5 off of my iPad. It's not something I'm using. It's just, a little keyboard you can attach to your iPad. It's the percentage symbol on the keyboard. And then the turtle came up again, and the soccer player. And again, the energy of the rho was coming up. RHO, the tall P in Greek. The as you know how the soccer player scoops up the ball with his foot, he's very able to hold the ball with his foot. That's the energy I was getting of the open house and being able to balance that ball, right? Because you're while you're moving. The Sophia O Christ energy. The Christ O, and then instead of Sophia, that R, which for me is a symbol of open house. P is the house, the housing of the pin, and then the R is the open house. And here it's with the ball on its toe. It's got the soccer ball there. The EZT to the ENT, where Z to N is the sleeping one awakening to the N, which is the the Christedness, the bridge that is now open in both directions, not just one direction. So the C for me represents Christ consciousness and the bridge, the rainbow bridge, 33. But then the N is the Christed. It's the confirmation that it's open in both directions. And the ENT is that giant talking tree in Living Library that's open now for business. So the rolling stone of the EM3W, but all squared, when you put them together, it makes the wrapped present with the AE ash on top, which is the ribbon, right? Or the gift on top. The Temple Mountain, there exists Shah, the cat, the cow, the past and future, to drink and to speak. The trademark pull or push and pull. The TM pull, the people's mountain. Mountain literally means the people's remembrance, that there exists a reflection of this in cat and cow. And with the cat is also the wild goat, and with the cow is bovine. And the leap between 2 points is where it's at, the C of leap, to what you owe, ox, which is also hugs and kisses. The cat cows was also coming up as cat caws or cat calls, and cash cow. The wild goat, to use I logarithm or word and song base 2, go at hugs and kisses, that is romance time. With the rolling stone, EM3W, which is also EMU, the electromagnetic unit. So the sleeping giants wake up as the snake approaches 129. He and she in the void, a magic sword, as the King of Cups and the Emperor, to the Page of Cups and the Page of Wands, the Queen of Swords with all sorts of delights. The Queen of Wands and Queen of Cups with sudden need to replenish and hang out, as Atlas King of Pentacles with group in hand, the Christed flame between 16 and 61, reflections of each other, the empty well and the whale in a bubble, filled up. The fiery Knight of Swords goes within, a yellow-orange sphere to the blue-green one. And again, references the hot and cold again, or the whale and the bubble in the ocean, and the energy of the sun above. And the Page of Cups, impatient to get there, or Pisces or Capricorn and Sagittarius, was spoken to by God about the tree of light and orange to gold and the diamond light to do the shadow work, as Atlas's bliss and a need to wake up and do the work without the Queen of Wands reversed, to be the Nine of Pentacles sovereign, or make room for a catch at 633, which is 33-6, the Christ vibration in the Rainbow Bridge. Okay, so let's see what's next. Where are we here on the clock? We're at 127. How perfect. 55. The truth. There are 2 aces. The Magician, the Ace of Wands. I just turned 28 even, which is the Twin Flames. Really cool. All right. Let's see, where are we next? And the Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, and the Magician. So the Magician is Gemini, but it can be Virgo too. Sometimes Aries for me. The Magician has the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords. Right? The Ace of Wands is passion, Swords is truth. But there's nothing cushy about that with Gemini, with the Magician there. It's very powerful though. But there's no Ace of Cups or Ace of Pentacles, which softens everything. All right, that T27, time 27, when we align with the galactic center. Oh, it's Laniakea. I couldn't think of the name. So the Laniakea aligns in Sagittarius 14 degrees, which was around the 6th, 7th of December. And that's where it hooked up with the highway of Laniakea. So no longer needed to refer to the galactic center. So I was getting that there was a shift that day or around that time. Right, a slight shift away from the galactic center. Yeah. And again, it's there's a note I made 27 to 28 as I just read that to you on the clock, that we moved from the 27 energy to the 28. And it was the 27 twos, the Queen's Gambit, because 2 can be a Q, the Queen's Gambit to 28 of Heroes Gamos, which is like, you know, the Queen's Gambit to the masculine's game, right? But it's actually the divine marriage. So she puts out her pawn or her temptation to 28 Heroes Gamos. Okay. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. We're at 1221. I'm determined to get caught up here for you guys. All right. So 1221 is the snake and the sun. Let's see if I can find that picture. This was, Sophia came up in my script. I was channeling Sophia, and I just scribbled that day while I was channeling, and it came up. So I had a little fun with Sophia there. Okay. Okay. So here's the next message. Okay, so one card out for each. We have the medicine deck at the top. Again, the Fortune's Oracle, the Ascension deck, and then the Journey of Love at the bottom there. On the left is the underlying energies, and one card pulled for each. And as you see, I go into the underlying energies as well. Okay. So this is on the 1221. Okay. The underlying energies was at 11, 20, 21, 22, and 23. And that's the Judgment card. 21 is the World. And this was on 1221, which is the Hanging Man and the World. But of course, 12 and 21 reflect each other, of the 1 and the 2 of the masculine and feminine. So 21 is the World, 22 is the Fool, and 23 is the King of Wands. And 11, of course, is Justice, Truth and Balance and Alignment. The underlying energy is the 6 with the Snake, 30 with the Sun, 41 of Serapis Bay again, 33 God Speaks, which we've heard that one already as well. The cards that came out were the 50 of the Alligator, 22 of the Mountain, 44 of El Moria, and 40 of Jesus, and then 69 of Contemplation, and again referencing the 698 pod. So Lover's Union of Holy Grail and Christ Consciousness Bridge, the family flies to the number 4, which is the crossroads, to fly together, perhaps suffering in silence. On one side, the Ace of Cups and the Christ Consciousness on the other side. The 10 of Cups family Fool, grounding and integrating her harvest with the Page of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles, and the quote-unquote freedom train. The 5D station, angels with source in pod, of emotional fulfillment with family and freedom, laying in wait and rolling with the punches with an open heart and leap of faith. Angels source her harvest and the Page of Cups of innocence. The Lovers and Hermit of 6 and 9, of the Lovers and God in the 698 pod, groundbreaking plant. The Hierophant and High Priestess with space between, the Queen of Wands, Emperor, and Page of Cups, offer new time, money, or effort, or a whole new life. Or the Emperor and Page of Cups are 4D and 5D aspects of the same. And the Emperor comes up with the Page of Cups constantly. It's like his innocent inner self, right? Because the Emperor's supposed to be a really good man who's solid and stable. And the Page of Cups would be the antithesis of that, right? The innocent child who's just full of love, but doesn't know how to be safe or stable, right? But they're fine anyway. So the snake year approaches with seeds to plant, home and union in the sun, with Serapis Bey, 41, and the fourth ray of harmony. And there's the 4 again of the emperor. The Egyptian, the white flame, and the seraphim, the evening Phi master, as God links in, seals the deal or channels the bridge through the 36 of the cosmic butterfly and the 65 of the King of Pentacles and the breaking of him. The Atlas Cos Mikey transformation. So cosmic for me always brings up, Cos is my father's nickname, and Mikey was our family dog when I was growing up. So the cosmic transformation was coming up with that, or the King of Pentacles in the, oh, that's interesting. B.B. King came up in my message yesterday, and it just came up again in what I just looked at. I wrote B.R. Ea King. So the King of Pentacles in the B.R. or open house of Ea King by crossing the bridge through which God speaks. The 7 of shift and the 53 of legacy of light, the 24 of the space between the legacy of light and the 36 of the cosmic butterfly, the 65 of the breaking, the 33 of God speaks, the 7 of chariot, the 53 of the knight of swords, the 24 of the queen of wands, 36 of the 10 of wands, 65 of the king of pentacles, and the 33 of the 7 of wands. The vehicle of the knight of swords is deliverance, with the queen of wands doing hard labor and the king of pentacles who stands up to speak. With the first card out then of the 10 of cups alligator, like alligators all ego, which is the feminine ego, and then the Tor, 2R Tor, the feminine ego peak or loose rocks at the top, all feminine ego 2R at the 22 station above the mountain peak, Almoria Hercules, her harvest with 40, which is Jesus and Ea energy, the first ray of Mercury, Manu, with the 12 strands DNA, standing in your power with Venus and Jesus and Ea to respond only with unconditional love and balance. And that was at 11:51, which is alignment with the King of Swords, but that's also Libra King of Swords. And the day that Earth stood still came up that day as well on 12/21. What can I do for you, Teddy, that will make you feel better? I'm not finished my video yet. I know you want to just play with the cats, but it's not time yet. Let me see what time. Oh, look at that. It's 3:14, which is Mommy's birthday. That's his mommy's birthday. And it's pie. It's not time yet, honey. You got about 20 minutes, okay? And then we have to make dinner. Not yet. Not time yet. So you have to wait, okay? Give me some more time. So right after I said what I just said, the sun came out fully, like it really brightened. The dragon lines and the feminine ega and the angels of Jesus or Ea and innocence and starseed. So it's the energy of the dragon lines and going into the feminine side of that, even in the reptilian energy, right? Because you all have reptilian energy in you. It's going to the feminine side of that. And then the other side is the angelic energy of innocence, of pure innocence, and starseed, right? And it's like bringing the earth lines with the ET lines together in the human between them. Like the human is the in-between state. The earth dragon lines and the angels, the ET angelic lines. She of the earth, planetary ray of God on infinite ear. E is earth, and the infinite and then the angel line, the ET angel lines, he of On, and the energy that is, the Egyptian tongue, the LS of the locus sigilli, and the place of the seal. Greetings to the reader. Lectori salutum Latin, the reader be greeted. So again, I'm getting a greeting from On. So the Anunnaki are being represented on both sides here, right? On the angelic side, and on the dragon line side. So E is coming up on one side, and An, his father, is coming up on the other side. And then God 33, the 33 card of God speaks through the 698 pod of the twin flames of contemplation. And again, channeling your messages. So the underlying energy of the Ace of Cups, after the Ten of Pentacles, the Wheel, the Moon reverse, and the Ace of Cups upright. The Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community of abundance, destined up to get up early or up all night, offering big love. The world is upright or complete as the Queen of Swords, Star, or Aquarius, or Danny DeVito was coming up there. The Queen of Swords and Star. And I was just getting him and his wife. Magician reversed, whole, complete, the world, the neighborhood, or Pisces loves the Queen of Swords, Stars, or speaks of Aquarius, or Pisces offers Cancer reverse love as the Queen of Swords leads or shines their light. The Magician may be insecure here or pales, or right, there could be insecurities that come up next to her light. As the Aquarius and Gemini both come up right there, Gemini or Virgo reversed, unstable, move, or visit with the Page of Pentacles and the Fool both reversed, who needs help not to slip up, whether that's literally on the snow or ice or in another way. As the Ten of Cups reversed is ending an emotional cycle. With the Emperor reversed, that could be someone, who's manipulating their power or abusing their power, but also could be someone who's not doing well or stepping down from power. With the Two of Cups, which is positive and 1-to-1, and the Injustice, or Aries and Libra both reversed, agreeing to disagree, or misery loves company, as the Two of Pentacles is upright in a juggling act. As the postman showed up right at this time, as the unhappy family meets 1-to-1 about what's unfair in the daily grind. A wake-up call as the postman delivers. In the house of judgment, the lovers is upright with the sun shining upon them, with Aquarius, Gemini, and Leo all upright. And a declaration of independence here by Hermit or Virgo, or in the year of the Virgo this year, or Amish signing off, or air signs with eyes in the sky. The sun over lovers, crowned pens, there's pen coming up again. As Hermit lights, the Knight of Wands reverse player falling short, or in a bike accident, slippery when wet. And I'm not prophesizing, this is everything has happened already. Workplace co-creation and the sovereign in need of peace and rest, as the Empress is getting over loss, regret, or sadness of the Seven of Swords, thief, or drop and run. And this could be a delivery that was dropped and ran. They didn't stay. And that was at 151. So again, there's the Magician and the King of Swords. So now we have the Libra King of Swords, and now we have the Gemini King of Swords, or Virgo King of Swords. Okay. Let's see what's next. All right. So next is the 22nd, and it was Sunday, the 22nd. Let's see here. I'm not ready yet, honey. You have to wait a few more minutes. Is this the correct one? Yes. All right, so this is the next one. Same kind of setup. We have the medicine deck at the top, the Fortune's Oracle Ascension deck, and then we have the Journey of Love, but we also have the Shaman's deck down there below. So the Journey of Love extends out here, and this is the Shaman deck down here if you're having trouble seeing that. Okay. All right, so this one was on the 22nd at 10:32, 33, 33, 34, 35 in that order. And the medicine deck, the first underlying energy was the blank card, and then we had the 22 mountain. The 40 card, which is the one of Jesus, the Page of Cups, and then the 46, Just for a Moment Joy, and then the 2 card of Beloved. The cards that came out were the 50 of the Alligator, the 3 of Beware, the 5 of the Gold Ray of Christ, the 61 of She Loves, and the 37 of the Magician's Sword. So Space Mountain, stationing above the fray at the solstice, Soul, ST, Ice, or the Path of Ice, the Soul's TI is also Source Energy, the Soul's Source Seal, the Sun's Path of the Inner Child Temple, the sign human embodiment of Source, left at the right angle, on the path, the Sophia tree, the path of I Am, the Christ consciousness, the bridge, the arc, the leap, the whispering bench, temple east, one equal and congruent, where congruent is co-NG or Christed God, RUENT, the giant humanoid talking tree, the co-nitrogen or explosive or Christ God, RU, giant humanoid talking tree, the JC tree, the Taurus, 2 are us. The Taurus with direction of JC, literally with direction. The trident of 3 of the giant humanoid talking tree. 2 are us and 3 dent are us. I wrote scratch there, and I was getting like the lottery scratch. RUS and dent. And now I'm getting scratch and dent. Okay, that's why I wrote it. Or 2 are us. And rices. And 3 planetary spin. So, and then what came up was so we haha, which is laughing. So that we laugh. It's to make us laugh. There's a lot about coming up that's going to make us laugh or to make yourself laugh. In the age of Aquarius, which is literally water and the emotion of laughter. So 2 are us and 3 of ENT, of wisdom and good sense. 2 laugh at toothache or suffering. Distorted heavy metals, things that are difficult to take, and find direction by spinning it. Try divine giant humanoid talking tree, the living library, a chord of 3. Tried and true intent or meant. After tour, TOR, loose rock at the top, difficult to reach the summit or keep balance and return. Rub your belly, the gateway, the large doorway to the beetle, where the type of beetle, the family looks like Cleopatra, but it's not. It's Coleoptera, but Cleopatra came up there. And the 2 lions housing Terra. To cut, divide, disobey, and slice, to mow, to fall. And the TOR of the march, novice, recruit, net, trap, narrow, tight string, to get breaking, fracture, right, to get things going. The feast of the thorax, the bush and head of cabbage. And that reminded me, I don't know if you watched the dinosaurs episodes, but there was one episode called When Food Goes Bad. It was really funny. And there was this cabbage that had gone really bad in the fridge, and the baby dealing with the cabbage in the fridge. So that was coming up, food gone bad, and steep rocky tower, the bull's trajectory, right? Because the bull, you reflect what you are, and the bull is very powerful and tends to be a bull in a china shop, right? So the solstice novice, the Taurus and trident, and the ice of the inner child of the temple east. IC is also informed consent, and the intergalactic confederation keeps coming up as well. And Ia's path. With JC and Ia, they keep coming up as 2 sides of the same coin. To huff and puff until they blow the house down. The solstice is swollen or should, ought to be intended. To intend ice, November ice. Soul's sun's path to be intended. To huff and puff and blow the house down. To intend to reach the summit or Godhead. NOV of November is flow or drainage, water pipe, new moon, and nova. Number 9, new, fresh, to intend and flow. The 9, something fresh and new, and again 9 year that we're in, to bring water, Aquarius, water, energy, like the water wheels, to create energy, to use at And I was getting to use, you had me at hello, keeps coming up too. An angular momentum. To be laughter and wisdom, the wise novice, the student of life. To laugh, inspire, and angle upward with delight. Congruent, the leap or human two-way or twin bridge, where the letter G, capital G, is a C and a little t that's capital. To aspire to God with open arms, you the Holy Grail, the whole God's rail, the giant ENT, the giant humanoid talking tree, the temple back and forth to tree. The bride, Christed, with TM pull, the trademark push and pull to the treetop, to become the leaves, which in the trees, the grandchildren, right? You have the trunk and then the branches out to the leaves, which then fall. They leave you. The left at the right angle and the fall to start again. The ENT is also, since N is Christed, it's the C of Christ consciousness T. So ENT is also, the EN for me is code Jesus. So it's literally the JC tree, the junction. And that always brings up Petticoat Junction. The underneath that peeks out to make it all worthwhile. And what did the links do in the beginning of the messages today? I said he was peeking under something to see what was going on, and they were a little bit leery about what they were seeing. The underneath that peeks out to make it all worthwhile. Some feminine to ruffle your feathers and connect. What's under the tree, the canopy, that makes the outer part look extra special. Bringing the divine feminine to the station, stat, with the ion or ion junction. Junk is young, and stay is stay, or stand, sits, to live, to be, and star, supernova, when station and junction are one and the same. Young star Tyon, or the tiger lioness connection, the coming together grounded like the solstice, equinox, retrogrades, the equine ox, the temple cue, your hugs and kisses, and the return of God's ray aids, that's retrogrades. Solstice is the soul's path within. The equinox equals in hugs and kisses, to work on self and equally share with other. Space to station with Petticoat Junction, with gold and pink compassion above the highest mountain. 5D station, Lover's Leap or Fool's Leap, with number 40 Jesus, Page of Cups, and 46 Six of Cups, which could be 2 pages of cups. Just for a moment, joy for 2 innocent ones to receive light to the heart as 2 beloved higher selves with radical acceptance and heart on fire. The space to leap, the Fool, the Page of Cups and Six of Cups, and higher self, divine feminine. The Fool's leap to prison release. And then the number 404 came up, which is like plus O plus. So instead of kisses and hugs, it's coming up as the 2 plus signs and the O in the middle, a hug in the middle. And remember, the number 4 is the horizontal and vertical pillars together, but with momentum because it's an arrow. Number 404, I looked up in Gematria, which the first entry was Pope Francis. Number 2 was the Chosen One. 3 was Marcus. 4 was Prince Charles. And Prince Charles came up in my message the other day with B.B. King. So it's coming up with Ray Charles, and it came up as the King, and he's now King Charles. The 10 of Catching the Dream, 19 of Scranton, 20 was Making the Lord, or Man King the Lord, 22 Housing, 29 was Born in Bethlehem, 30 was Red Roses, 33 was Baltimore Bridge, 34 was One More Time, and then the number 224 also came up. The third entry was Madison, and 16 was Scorch the Earth, 17 was 1-8 or 18, and 19 was Richmond. I have a family from Richmond, Virginia. 22 is 81, which is in the numerology book. The Divine Triangle is the completion of the human cycle, 81 of the 9 times 9 years. 22 is the Fool and also the 5D station. 25th was Massage. 29th was Risen. 31st was, I don't know how to pronounce it, Chirekiello. And then 32, Rainier. And 33 is Anorak. 36, Bigfoot. And then the number 462, which you can look that up, but the first entry was Istanbul. And then ... and Rothschilds. and progress and shapeshifters. Get out and shapeshifters. That's interesting, right? Because the movie Get Out, rigged and stolen, toxic, decode, God kills, Barack Obama came up in the, that's just from the Gematria messages. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a message. News signal 19 is Nikki, 20 was relaxing, 21 Ocean Gate Titan. So the underlying energy of Sophia with the 6 snake and the 8 otter, 38 of the frog, and then the blank card. And we have the Page of Pentacles energy with 68 and the Queen of Cups with 38. Sophia's family dance with otter or other in Irish. The Queen of Cups leapfrogs with space behind. Hop to it. The sun stationing at Snowy Peak and Southern Sunshine of Sumer. And again, we talked about earlier. Serapis Bay and El Moria and Jesus with the 4th ray of harmony and the 1st ray of action. And Venus with the white flame and light of the white brotherhood, responding with only love and balance. As the number 4 comes up as the star energy, the 18 of distant shores and the 4 moons. The 37 of fire and ice, which 37 is also the King of Cups of unconditional love, and the 46 of just for a moment joy, and joy is also Joya, which is Gaia. She under the bridge in rough waters with romantic notions, he in the vortex of fire and ice with unconditional love and 3 keys of alchemy. To leap to dance and soar to drive or the vehicle at 1221 is that number 4 at, which is the spiral of 6, staying alive, so Saturday Night Live or Saturday Night Fever comes up there. 2 innocent children of Source Creator, just for a moment, just twin flame or a mom ENT, which is Joya, Gaia. After Route 66 Golden Gate coming together at the station with MO intent at Petticoat Junction at 1225, which is now bringing us into this year, the underlying energy of the 30 of the Horseman in the Union. The 4 of Wands is the Union card, but also the home and celebration. The 22 of the Fool's Embrace at home at the 5D station. The Herald of Change and Leap of Faith and Superfly was coming up. The 20 of Feast of Plenty and Choices and Their Consequences. It's the 39 Knight of Cups in Me Talks to repair the body, mind, and spirit. Happy Days, a shake, and Mermaid Bath as 17 with stars in their eyes, the eye of the needle of intent, and the 2 of the beloved divine feminine with their heart on fire with radical acceptance. The 50 of the alligator, all eye gate tour, the 10 of cups happy family, laying around, rolling with the punches, cracking a crocodile smile perhaps, as the Empress beware of who you trust with shapeshifters around, gold coin, mountain, Jesus, Joya, and higher self, the gold ray of Christ, and number 5 with the cosmic heart of 9D and angels of golden light around you, and send it to others with the 61 of risking to love. She loves. And the 22 of loving all that is. The 6 of angel of Jupiter awakened, the 30 of towering magnificence, the 57 of lovers, 39 of let the feminine lead the way, and 63 of the light field when the harsh energies are coming in and it's hard to take. The 20 of sweet soul rising and 49 of woman of light, where 2 innocents risk to love in a leap of faith and family aligns. Home and union, lovers, heal hearts, and the Knight of Cups lets the feminine lead the way. Through the light field, sweet soul rises as the woman of light, after suffering in silence, gets their wish. The inner child and grown woman, and loving all that is. A wake-up call to face the light, taking a risk to hold space and align at home with the mighty sentinels, allowing their divine feminine to navigate the harsh light field as sweet soul rises into a place where they can receive the light, or at least a showering of it. The 37 was the next first card of the Magician's Sword, the Knight of Cups able to see starfire of the divine feminine's heart to take on the Magician's Sword with confidence in your magic, with a Japanese flair. And Maka has come up all year since I was in in where I went on vacation earlier this year, and now I'm blanking now. I'm sorry, my brain just doesn't process sometimes. All right, the 10 of Cups and the Empress, the Hierophant, the 7 of Swords, and the King of Cups. The happy family of mother and father, and the Empress and the hero's breath gasp as she takes his breath away. The Queen of Cups with space for the 10 of Cups. Home at the station with the sun shine and the moon shine, soaring 3 to 5 with the Page of Cups and the 6 of Cups. And 3 to 5 are also the Empress and the Hierophant, which are both Taurus energies. Evening pies and El More, the more people keep coming up too, and Jesus coming up here as just us. All Ega Tor by Mother, and All Ega, the feminine ego Tor, which is the top of the mountain that's a little bit with loose rocks there, so you got to be careful. By Mother, the gold ray of Christ, taking a risk with sharp devices like words. The Magician's sword, and at the end of Magicians is NS, which is the Christus Sophia energy. The Magician's Ias and Ans S word. Ma, God's inner child, and Ia with Christus Sophia as one sword. The mother god here with An's sword. Ma and An, Sophia to use, or the planetary spin, and the sign to use word to leap into their world when you add the L, or the arc, to leap into their world. When you add the arc, which is the L, or the leap between 2 points, you add the L to word, it becomes world. Just say the word, and they leap. Jesus, J-E, and the energy of the stone and the rock keep coming up, which are literally the words stain and stein are rock and stone. And stein is also mug, and stain is also a mark. So it's really interesting how the differences were coming up. And they also come up in mountain with an A-I-N and an E-I-N. The mountain with an E-I-N is a spindle or offshoot, tool or implement. Cold ice woman to perform, carry out, commit. I think it says spindle, I'm not sure. It might say spinning. I think it says spindle though. And then there's action on that side, but that's the cold side. And the mountain with an A-I-N is on the hot side, comes up as still fire reflection. Whereas the feminine energy is taking the action. The still fire reflection on the mountainside is the tin foil, silvering from mirrors, furthest back, most posterior, right? So this, we're talking about our history. And then the mushroom, which also came up in my mother's messages. Number 10, army ration or tan, which is a point in time. The earth soil, dissolved on stay, reside humorous dance, tooth, twig, branch, class, cinnabar, to arrest, hold, and invincible, fault, weak point, detained, doctrine, theory, dream, as Teddy sighs, which he's doing now, it's hysterical, and the science of the branch of instruction, the weather time, only fire, tangent, color, and fire. The science of, or branch of instruction, of the weather, time, only, fire, color, and tangent. The stillness of hot, and the action of cold, right? So the opposites and how they relate to each other. Okay. I did a post on Kuan Yin, so you might want to check that out too. That was several pages here. And more of Kuan Yin. 12/20/33 was coming up. Bashar was talking about that too. We're supposed to have first contact according to the video I was watching for Bashar. Now it's pulled up to 26 to 27. We're going to have first contact, but of course, it's going to take a while. And they was talking about the period through 33 of kind of integrating ETs into our world. He talked about some would first we'd have first contact probably with Pleiadians because they're most like us, and then the hybrids like the children and stuff like that. There's supposed to be a community that forms apart from us so that they can integrate our world and we can get used to them there. That was interesting. But again, this whole time period up through 2050 is supposed to be integrating that whole new process. And what else was coming up? All right, so I do have to go because Teddy's going to have a conniption. He's smiling at me now because he knows it's time to make dinner for the cats. They kept pushing their dinner time earlier and earlier, but this 4 o'clock seems to be working. So I am going to go. I'll get to my next video as soon as possible. I promise to get to this one because I don't want to get too old. But this next message that I'm starting is on the 26th with the eagle starting it off. So that'll be important. And then we can definitely get caught up from there on the next video for sure. So I'll probably do another one tomorrow if at all possible, if not later tonight. Okay? So rise and be love, and I promise I'll get back to you to finish off this video. Have an amazing time. I hope you're having a great new year, guys. I'll see you very soon.